Last Friday there was a demonstration which gathered 300 to 400 people here in the piazza, organised by the Moroccan Community Association to draw attention to the fact that there are currently no regular transport links between Gibraltar and Morocco.
Pues a mí sí que me está afectando muchísimo porque hace poco que ha morido mi padre, hace 4 meses, y no podemos, o sea, mi familia no pueden venir aquí a visitar a la tumba de nuestro padre. Ni yo tampoco puedo ir a Marruecos porque no hay ruta ahora entre Marruecos y Gibraltar. Y nos está afectando muchísimo a nosotros y a toda la comunidad marroquí que está viviendo en Gibraltar. Estamos pidiendo al gobierno gibraltareño y al gobierno marroquí que hagan un acuerdo, que nos hagan transporte como había antes. Antes habían 2 vuelos cada semana y un barco cada viernes. Iba el viernes de aquí de Gibraltar y venía cada domingo. Pero hoy en día no tenemos ninguna conexión con Marruecos, ningún medio de transporte. Estamos pidiendo al gobierno marroquí que haga el favor de mirarnos y sentir cómo estamos pasándolo aquí en Gibraltar sin poder ir a ver a nuestros seres queridos en Marruecos.
Ok, y entonces siento escuchar de tu padre, en otro momento él tiene hermanos o hermanas que hubieran venido para venir a verlo.
No pueden venir porque está la frontera, digamos, entre Marruecos y Gibraltar está cerrada, no pueden venir aquí y lo están pasando bastante mal, lo están pasando muy mal.
Que es un momento muy difícil en la vida para no poder tener el contacto familiar, ¿no?
Es muy difícil. En aquellos momentos deberían de estar aquí con nosotros, tú sabes.
Pues le está afectando mucho a la gente porque muchos llevan mucho tiempo sin bajar a su tierra y además están todos vacunados y son gente mayor, hay gente que está enferma, hay gente que tiene gente enferma en Marruecos, nos han visto a su familia. Y antes teníamos aquí nuestro barco, nuestro avión y ahora no sé por qué no tenemos y somos los primeros de casi toda Europa en vacunarnos, en estar ya listos vacunados y queremos alguna solución para nuestra tierra aquí en Gibraltar porque nos dan soluciones en España y aquí gente, sobre todo los precios, todo, queremos solución aquí como había antes y a ver si pueden ayudarnos el gobierno gibraltareño con el gobierno marroquí, a ver si cogen una solución y nos traen lo que sea, un barco, avión, las dos cosas, pero como estaba antes. Y ahora mismo hay mucha gente afectada, como tú ya sabes, el viernes hubo aquí una manifestación con mucha gente y mucha gente afectada y nuestras familias ahora, claro, están todos divididos, son muchos años de pandemia, están sufriendo y quisiéramos una solución para nuestra gente, para nuestra comunidad marroquina. La otra gente que tienen sus papeles de España han encontrado solución, porque se van de España, pero hay gente de aquí que llevan mucho tiempo y le está afectando hasta psicológicamente. ¿Sabes? Ya la gente, hablas con la gente con la calle, hablas con ellos y empiezan a llorar, empiezan a caer lágrimas. Es normal. Hay una mujer aquí, se le murió el marido y aún sigue aquí, la han enterrado aquí, y tiene su hija en el hospital en Marruecos. Y hay muchos casos como estos, hay demasiados casos como estos. Y la verdad que te pones a hablar con cualquiera y se te ponen ahí, le está afectando bastante. Y necesitamos una solución como o ahora o la semana que viene o de aquí a un tiempo necesitamos una solución.
How have you been able to make ends meet while you're living here in Gibraltar, which is quite an expensive place to live?
بما أن جبرالتار واحد البلاصة غالية بزاف، أنت كيفاش تعايشتي مع الوضع هنايا وكيفاش كنتي كتعايشي يعني على فلوس وهذا كيفاش تاكل وتشرب هنايا؟
واش أنايا أنت شتي أنا ملي مرض الراجل ما شي ومع الجواد عاوتاني كل واحد كيدور معايا وصلات عند بها هادشي اللي كاين.
The £100 that she receives for her husband old age pension, and she's been maintained and supported by the community here in Gibraltar.
wife's been over there now for 6 months or so. Due to visa reasons, her not holding a Gibraltar passport, she's unable to transit through the UK, Spain or anywhere else, just due to airlines, different airlines would be classed as a transit. So she's stuck, and you know, as I've said previously, you know, our lives have been on hold. You know, so stressing both of us out. Just trying to contact whoever and anyone with any information on how we can make this happen, but getting nowhere. It's a really frustrating situation, yeah.
So is she a Moroccan national, but she lives in Gibraltar with you normally?
Yeah, that's correct. She's Gibraltar resident, holding a green ID card with a Moroccan passport. So, you know, if she had the Gib passport, this wouldn't be a problem, but there's a select few in my case, in our case, in that situation. So 5 of which are in Morocco, unable to return home to Gib, and likewise quite a number in Gibraltar unable to return home to Morocco. Yeah. The financial side, although we are strained at the moment, that's not an issue for me. Fortunately, I could afford flights through Malaga if it was possible. The problem with that, as you say, is the paperwork. Transit visa would be required. In order to get a transit visa, you need to have your flights through the same airline. Unfortunately, there's no same airline that goes from Tangier to the UK and UK then to Gibraltar within the same 24-hour period, at least. That's from what I know. The only one is EasyJet, who apparently, according to travel agents here, don't class any of their flights as transit flights, although so basically the transferring of luggage from one plane to another, they don't handle that and don't class it as a transit, so it wouldn't fall into the category of you know, under the transit visa kind of category, yeah. So stuck in that sense, yeah.
How long has it been since you saw your wife in person?
Since I think late November, yeah. So 7 months now. That would be 7-8 months nearly, yeah.
So she went over to Morocco thinking that it was for a relatively short period of time, and she's been stuck there?
Yeah, so, you know, it was a slight risk. Of course, at the time she went, there was the, you know, travel warnings, and we take that on the chin. You know, it was a risk, but we're humans, you know. She hadn't seen her family for nearly a year prior to that moment.
This was which November? November 2020 or 2020 or 2019?
2020, yeah.
Okay.
So about 7-8 months ago. She was missing her family. There was an ease with the COVID. It looked like we were coming out of it at that stage. It looked like a safe enough idea. She would go back, see her family for a month or more or less until there was another flight. At that time there was flights periodically coming to Gibraltar. We didn't think it would stop at that point. So she went to see her family after about a month or so, which would have left us around the new year. We thought, okay, one will come soon, you know, and then time went on and went on. There was a few hopes of flights which fell through, and that's when it all began, you know, contacting civil contingencies, in touch with Morocco Gibraltar Business Exchange. I've been in contact with the UK Customs, the Gibraltar Customs, the ambassador in Morocco, several airlines. I've been doing as much research as I can to try and figure out how we can, you know, get this resolved, and just hitting brick wall after brick wall.
Mi padre iba cada mes y medio iba a visitar a los hijos, a la familia, toda la familia. Iba cada mes, cada fin de mes iba a Tánger. 4 hermanas en Marruecos tengo, y a mi madre también, que está ahora mismo en Marruecos.
¿Y cuánto tiempo hace que no lo ves?
Pues yo llevo 2 años sin poder ir a Marruecos por el tema de que no hay medio de transporte. Nosotros estamos pidiendo a nuestro gobierno marroquí que nos haga un barco como había antes, un avión como había antes de la pandemia me refiero, y que mire por nosotros, porque en verdad que lo estamos pasando muy mal. No sé por qué toda Europa tiene conexión ahora con Marruecos, tiene medio de transporte menos Gibraltar, no sabemos por qué. Nosotros, no sé, a lo mejor no nos miran como somos marroquíes, nosotros somos marroquíes, nosotros estamos aquí pasándolo mal y queremos algo medio de transporte, pero ya, tiene que ser ya. Ahora como viene la fiesta de Cordero, todos los marroquíes estamos acostumbrados de ir a Marruecos. Y por lo que veo yo, ninguno puede ir porque no hay no hay un transporte de aquí de Gibraltar. Por ejemplo, como la gente mayor aquí, tú sabes, la jubilación aquí pagan muy poco. La mayoría de la gente jubilada aquí cobra muy poco. Y no le permite ir por Málaga porque en Málaga hay billetes que han llegado ahora a 500 libras al vuelo. Entonces esa gente no le permite, no pueden ir a Marruecos por este precio en la vida. Y aparte que están acostumbrados de ir de aquí, de Gibraltar, porque nosotros somos de aquí de Gibraltar y necesitamos un transporte de aquí desde Gibraltar.
¿Tú te sientes entonces gibraltareño, pero también marroquí?
Claro, me siento gibraltareño o marroquí, por supuesto que sí.
Look, the Moroccan community is an integral part of our Gibraltarian family, you know, and this government cares dearly for them. So, I mean, that is why I spoke with the Moroccan Community Association last week. I called him up over the weekend because I was unable to attend the demonstration that took place on Friday, to explain to him and to brief him on what the government was doing in trying to reestablish this. We have commercial entities that are interested in establishing a ferry between Gibraltar and Tangiers. We're looking at how we can support that idea. Look, this is a commercial arrangement. It's not something that the government will participate in, but the government will provide support for it to happen. You know? Then there is the air links, which Royal Morocco stopped in March of last year. I can't really give you much information yet because I feel it's a commercial thing. I don't really want to, but I have a meeting lined up with one of the top people in Royal Air Morocco after the summer, and where we're going to discuss Morocco and Gibraltar in general, not only Tangiers, but other links that might happen for business, for tourism, and of course for our Moroccan community.
You know, and listening to Minister Dairani's interview saying that he is going to have a meeting after summer. Wake up, this is real, this is happening now, we need a solution now. And then the way he mentions that he's not only going to see about links between Tangier and Gibraltar, but other possibilities. That is fantastic. But what we need now is a direct link for all these people that don't have the means or the possibility of traveling via Malaga. And then I found quite interesting how he prioritizes his meeting as to business, tourism, and of course the Moroccan community. Moroccan community should be his priority at the moment. We are dealing with the people that came to the rescue of Gibraltar when the frontier closed and Spain tried to strangle us economically. These are the same young people that are now pensioners, that are vulnerable, that we as Gibraltar should be looking after and making their lives easier, not having to face the situation that they're facing at the moment. And my appeal to the government and to the Moroccan authorities is to sort this out now.
Of course, the government of Gibraltar had absolutely nothing to do with this. This was a private, thing that somebody, I think, chartered a flight through Royal Air Morocco, and they decided to price the tickets at £550 because that is probably how they thought they could cover their expenses and make a profit. But look, the government had absolutely nothing to do with that.
And I can tell you through my own personal experience that SETI Tours have been absolutely amazing, working to organize and to sort this out.
You think that they've come in for some unfair criticism this week?
Totally.
Some have said that they were trying to use the situation to profiteer, basically.
Well, let's not forget that what they've tried to do is charter an aeroplane, and if Royal Air Morocco is charging him X, they cannot charge Y. You know, maybe the government could have come in and subsidized those flights to resolve the situation. Don't forget, we also have the illegal immigrants that are now in prison because of landing in a place like Gibraltar that doesn't have a detention center, and they're having to be as if they committed a big crime. You know, we have one that is doing a hunger strike. Let's get real, this is happening, this is real people, they're suffering. Let's stop their suffering.
So what you're asking for is a return to the regular links that Gibraltar used to have with Tangier? When? How far back do we have to go for those regular links?
I remember the last run-in was last year. I think the last one the permanent one was in March or April last year. And obviously they returned some people that they were stuck in Morocco. They've been returned, but it just in a once flight. And that's it. That's the last one that we've heard. I'm sure that Gibraltar government are willing to help with this situation. The problem here, it's the government, the Moroccan government. Ali Douisi, for example, and other individuals, they've sent a lot of correspondence to Morocco, and they haven't had any reply yet. And obviously, we're just waiting for a reply. Are they going to put a transport for the community, or are they not going to put a transport?
I think we want to participate in the operation of Marhaba, the same like the other countries. That's what we want as well. We are Moroccan, we like our country, we love working as well. And we want a solution for this problem. The same like when the frontier was closed. We want to have our party in the operation of Marhaba, the same like they have done with France and Holland and Belgium. So why Gibraltar not? We are Moroccan as well. So we want the same help that Morocco used giving to Gibraltar when the frontier was closed. We want the same now. What is the problem? I mean, the government of Gibraltar, they are helping the Moroccan here. Keep this issue. Keep this issue up away from the politics. We are Moroccan, and we have the right for the help of the commerce of Morocco for us. That's what we need.
Pedimos a nuestro gobierno marroquí que nosotros también somos marroquíes, nos sentimos marroquíes y seremos marroquíes toda la vida, pero vivimos aquí en Gibraltar y queremos tener nuestro contacto con nuestra familia, por favor, y ayudar a las familias aquí, la gente mayor, y no tienen solución. Parece que somos los únicos de Europa que no tenemos solución y es urgente ya, es urgente ya. Ya vamos a tener problemas hasta de psicólogos ya y todo, la gente lo necesita ya, lo necesita. No es un mes, 2 meses, ni 3 meses, llevamos ya casi 2 años ya. Y eso está afectando mucho a la gente. Y por favor, pedimos al gobierno marroquí que escuche nuestro mensaje, que puedan traer barco, que hagan una solución, barco, avión, lo que sea, pero que tenga, es su gente, somos marroquíes, nos sentimos marroquíes. Y tenemos que tener una solución lo antes posible, porque está afectando a la gente, de verdad. De verdad, mucha gente está afectada psicológicamente, ¿sabes? Ya no aguantan más ya.
Yo lo que quiero decir que Gibraltar podía ayudarnos mucho en el tema de los marroquíes gibraltareños. No son marroquíes ya, son gibraltareños. Y el gobierno de Gibraltar tenía que ayudarle. Y el gobierno de Gibraltar podía salir en público con 2 palabras. Y esas 2 palabras nos ayudan mucho, diciendo, nada más, el Sahara es marroquí. Si él dice Sahara es marroquí, nosotros podemos irnos a Rabat y hacer muchas cosas sobre el tema. Y lo que yo estoy diciendo que los marroquíes que se quedaron allí 3 meses allí cerrados, y la gente estaba allí, podía trabajar allí en Marruecos para traerlo para acá. Hay gente aquí, los pobres, está tirado aquí. Por favor, alguien que haga algo.
Well, what we would like to do is re-establish the fortnightly service that existed before COVID. it was run by a company called FRS, and we've been in touch with them, and what we're working on is with the Moroccan authorities to obtain the permissions that are required from Morocco to able to restart the service, and hopefully we'll have some good news so people can visit Morocco again.
You know, I have to praise the civil contingency and Tito Danino, who I have been in touch with throughout my stay there. Not just this year, but the 5 months that we were there. They have tried umpteen times, but they keep coming against a brick wall, and the Foreign Office needs to get their act together and their communication with the Moroccan authorities to resolve the issue once and for all.
Let me check my notes. We've covered, okay, so the only thing that maybe we haven't covered is the broader political context. So all of this is unfolding, Henry, against the backdrop of very significant tension between Spain and Morocco, and it's quite possible that therefore Gibraltar has been to a certain extent caught in the middle of that.
Jonathan, I'm no politician and I have no aspirations to ever be a politician, but from the layman that I am, I can tell you that Morocco is doing to Spain what Spain tried to do to Gibraltar when they closed the frontier. They have used COVID as an excuse to strangle Ceuta and Melilla. We just have to look at the fact that for 3 days the Moroccan authorities turned their back and they allowed thousands of Moroccan nationals to just cross over into Ceuta. You know, this is showing Spain what Morocco is stopping, and that if things get the way they did, they can just turn a blind eye and they can be flooded with illegal immigrants. You know, the Spanish foreign minister has just been changed. Why? You know, we don't have to be blind to see what is happening. I can understand that Gibraltar is in a very diplomatic situation at the moment with trying to come up with a Brexit deal. I think this is the reason why nothing is happening. We don't want to upset anybody, but we are upsetting our Moroccan community.
Our own people.
Yes.
I know, it's being dealt with by the relevant authorities here in Gib, the government and so forth, but if there is anyone that can shed some light on possibilities, you know, options available or other routes to take or anything at all, any help, I'd appreciate if you could contact me or the Gib Morocco exchange or Gib community leaders, and you know, anyone with any form of power or authority who can help in this situation, please do so. It would be very much appreciated, because it's testing times for all of us. Yeah.
Well, we wish you and your wife every success, Daniel.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Hope you're reunited soon.
Thank you. Thanks.
واللي راسي دائما كيحرقني، وليت كنحس مريضه بقوه ما نخمم المشكل ديالي كي غنعمل باش نخرج، ما عندي كيفاش نعمل. هذا هو المشكل.
This has affected her mentally and physically, and she's all the time thinking that her wishes is to go back to Morocco.
Estamos dando las gracias al gobierno gibraltareño por su apoyo a toda la comunidad marroquí que estamos aquí. Estamos dando las gracias a todo el ministro, a todos ustedes. Un mensaje a nuestro rey de Marruecos. Nos estamos pidiendo por favor que nos permita una ruta entre Marruecos y Gibraltar. Un mensaje a todo el gobierno de Marruecos para que nos ayuden por favor y que miren por nosotros. Muchas gracias y felices fiestas.
Porque Gibraltar sempre te ajuda a gente, porque agora não sabemos como passar. Nosotros pedimos aquí, pedimos gente del gobierno del Marruecos, no todo que ajuda no tomba.
Frustrations are clear. This is a human story, and we care deeply, and therefore we would do what we can in order to try and resolve the situation.
نحن الجالية هنا، نحن الجالية المغربية هنا.
We got a lot of support from Gibraltar government, but we need a license specifically from government of Morocco to be clear that message. Also, we have a support from the British Embassy in Rabat asking to have a regular flights from Gibraltar, but until now we doesn't have any answer.